Welcome back. I'm Lucas from Roll to Hit Gaming, and today on Adventures in Solo Gaming, I'm going to play Dice City from publishers Artipia Games and AEG. Dice City, as you would imagine by the title, is a dice-based city building game. Each turn you'll roll your dice and take an action with each. In this video, we're going to assume you're familiar with this title, so I won't cover every rule, particularly those not relevant to the solo game, such as attacking other players, but you should be able to get a good idea of how this plays. If you'd like to view the full rulebook, you can follow the BGG link in the description box below. Without further delay, let's get to the table and solo play Dice City. If you're familiar with Dice City, you'll notice some of the changes for the solo game, and if you're not familiar, hopefully you can pick up what's going on as we move along. The biggest change you'll see in the upper right corner of your screen, there are not a limited number of bandits and trade ships. In a solo game, you simply place one of each of those cards up there, and the more of them you can kill, or the more trades you can make, the more victory points you'll score. Also, over here on the side, you'll see our 8 buildings out. When one is taken, we don't immediately replace it. At the end of each turn, the bottom row is going to slide off and become unavailable. This row will slide down and 4 more cards will come out, and that's our timer for the game. So when the building deck runs out, the game will be over. We're playing on normal difficulty, so that gives us 15 turns to score 50 victory points. Everything else is all set up. I'll move this to the side. And to get started, the final piece of setup, we roll our 5 dice and place them. Dice go on the appropriate grid space, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and the appropriate color, white, yellow, red, blue, and black. And we simply place these on the spaces that we rolled, and that gives us our starting setup. Now on our turn, we can use our dice in one of a few ways. We can simply use it to resolve the location beneath it and gain that effect. We can remove it and move another dice one space adjacent on the same row that it's on. We could discard 4 locations and draw 4 new, but that's not particularly useful in a solo game, unless there's just nothing out there we're interested in. We could also remove it to reactivate a location. Sometimes a location may get deactivated, and we may need to reactivate it to be able to use it again. And we can also pass to gain a pass token, and if we have 2 of those, we can trade them for resources or increase our army strength. And seeing the buildings that became available, I like this barrack, but we'd need 2 stone and 1 ore, but that lets us get more military places out on our board, which is, I think, the strategy that we're going to try to use to get our 50 points in this game. So we have 1 stone and 1 ore, and we need to get another stone. So we're going to remove this dice, and we'll just set our remove dice over here, and to move this 1 space. So that's going to gain us 2 stone and 1 ore. And that will use up those dice. And then here at our small house, we're going to remove that to simply gain 1 victory point. So 1/50th of the way there. Next, we'd move into an attack step, but we don't have any military power this turn. So that takes us into the building step. And we'll discard our 2 stone and 1 ore to build our barracks. And I like to start by covering up these re-roll spaces. I don't see a lot of value in them. So now, if we were to roll the yellow 4, we would be able to place a regular army location in our city without paying the cost. So that should help us build our army up some. That's going to wrap up our turn. So we'll get rid of the bottom row of buildings here. And we'll slide these down, and we'll deal out 4 new. Another mint. Watchtower, that's nice with our strategy, as is the blacksmith, and the manor. So those are our available buildings. And the end of each turn is always roll your dice to set up for the next turn. And we got that straight away. So that should help us get started with our strategy for this game. And we're going to go ahead and resolve that. Take a regular army. And we'll put it down here so that we can have some army possibilities in more of our dice as we go along. And I think we're going to remove this one since 1 army is not going to do much for us. And move this one over to stone. And that's going to give us 1 of each type of resource. And remember, at the end of your turn, you can only save one of each type of resource. So if you have more than one of a type, you want to use it so you don't lose it. That'll resolve those dice. Again, we have no military power with which to attack, but we're going to spend one of each of our resources, and we're going to build this watchtower. And the watchtower allows us to add 3 to our army that can only be used to attack bandits. Since there's not other players to attack, that's a pretty good haul for us. So we're going to go ahead and put this here. Clear out those buildings, move these down, add 4 more. Training camp, a great wall, cathedral, and a festival hall. So those are our buildings for this turn, and we'll roll our dice to start a new turn. And we landed on 2 of our reroll dice spots, so let's go ahead and do those first, just to see what we really got. I think we're going to remove our white dice so that we can get a little more military power this turn. And so resolving this one's going to give us a stone that we'll just have to keep for later. And then that gives us 1, 2, 3 military power, which is enough to take out the low-level bandits in our attack step and earn us 2 victory points and use up those die. We only have 1 ore, so we're not going to be buying this turn, so we'll clear those out. Put out our 4 new buildings and roll our dice to kick off our next turn. And we'll go ahead and re-roll this one. I do like the well, which would let us re-roll some of our dice. That's going to take an ore, which we have, and a stone. So we'll use this one to move this over to a stone. And that'll give us that. And then we're not going to have enough military to really do anything with. So let's go ahead and get a wooden stone for these dice. And then this one we're going to pass with, and that'll give us a pass token. And remember, you can only do that pass action once per turn. So that moves us into attack step. We have no military power, but we do want to build. So I think we'll use a wood and an ore, and we'll go ahead and build this training camp. Landing on that, we'll make bandits weaker, and then we still have an ore and a stone to get our well. And I think we're going to put this here on this re-roll space. So that finishes up that turn. We'll move these away, pull these down. And more buildings. And remember, each building we build has victory points on it as well, and that's going to contribute to our 50 total. We'll roll our dice to start a new round. All right. So we did land on our well, and I think it's time to start going. So we're gonna re-roll this dice and any other of our unused dice, and I think we're just gonna go ahead and load up and give a re-roll on those. A lot of resources, but not much attack, and that's what we're trying to do. Not a lot of help, but we gave it a try. We'll go ahead and resolve these 2 to get us 2 ore, because we can always upgrade one of our locations. And we'll go ahead and move this one, remove this one to move that over, and so that'll give us 2 victory points there. And I'll toss that over there. And then we'll use our 2 ore in our build step to build another regular army. And we'll go ahead and cover this space up. Remove these locations. Great Wall, Bazaar, Marketplace, and Stables. And then roll our dice to start a new turn. And we'll remove our white to shift our black dice over. And I think we'll also remove our yellow to shift this one over. And that's going to give us 4 military power to use in our attack steps. So we'll take out the mid-level bandits and gain 3 victory points. That uses these dice. We didn't gain any resources, so we can't build any buildings. So we'll go ahead and move these off. Grand statue, cathedral, another training camp, and a small town hall. Let's roll our dice. And once again, I think we'll remove white to move black over. And then we'll just gain a wood there because we can hold on to that. And then that's going to give us 2, 3, 4 in our attack step to defeat another of the mid-level bandits and gain 3 more victory points. We're not going to build with 1 wood, so you can see this kind of starts moving once you get into it. It's a really nice clip for a dice rolling solo game. Blacksmith, another town hall, storehouse, 2 storehouses. All right, let's go ahead and cash these in for 2 ore. And then all bandits get -1 this turn. We have 2. And we get to remove this to place a regular army somewhere. So we'll go ahead and do that. We'll just place that there. And we have 2 attack power, but bandits get a -1. So we'll be able to gain 2 more victory points by defeating the low-level bandits. We have 2 ore and 1 wood. And I think we're just going to go ahead and use this 2 ore to get another regular army out here. And increase our chances of getting attack power. We'll move these off. Bring these down. Catapult, nice. And roll our dice to go to the next round. Let's go ahead and resolve this, and that'll let us put out another regular army. Put that there, and we do have more regular army cards. I only put out so many because I was trying to save space. I didn't expect to be able to use this many. So we'll set another batch of those out. And we'll gain an ore for that dice. And we've got 2, 3, 4 attack power. So another mid-level bandit defeated and 3 victory points earned. We have only 2 resources, and that won't let us build anything that's out there. So we'll get rid of those. Shift these down. And put out 4 more. And remember, this is our timer. So when we remove the last bottom row, we're done. That's a 2 and 2. So we'll remove that to move over here and get us some military power. And we'll do the same with this. Move the red die here, and that's going to give us 2, 4, 5, and let us beat one of the larger bandits. And that's 4 victory points into our stack. Uses up these dice. Again, we only have a wood and an ore, which is not going to let us build. Another catapult. And another barracks. Get a little cross sometimes. Let's go ahead and use that ability from our well to re-roll those two. No help there. All right, fair enough. So let's just go ahead and claim those 2 victory points that it wants to give us. And we've got 3 that can only be used against bandits. Bandits get -1, and we've got 4 or 5 here. So that's going to give us 5 attack power, and each bandit has -1. So that would make the low-level bandits only 2 defense, and the mid-level bandits only 3. That's 5. So we're going to go ahead and defeat 1 of each and score 5 victory points this turn. Still only have 1 stone and 1 ore. We could build the bazaar, which would let us get some resources, but I think we'll just we'll hold on to that. Our military engine's starting to work a little bit, and I don't want to clog it up. Pull those down. Put out new cards and move on to the next turn. A lot of 6s, and that's not a lot of help. We haven't built much out in our 6s. Wow. All right, so this looks like it's going to be a building turn, so let's see what we can build. Another watchtower looks nice. We need to get a stone in order to be able to do that. So we'll go ahead and remove our yellow die to move our white dice over here. Remove it to claim a stone. And then I think we're going to pass with this dice. It'll give us 2 pass tokens. So that gives us a wood and a victory point. There's our wood. There's our victory point. And now we're going to build another watchtower. And it's 1 of each resource. And we seem to like to roll 6s in this game, so I'm going to set it right over here. Probably won't roll another 6. Get rid of these. Bring these down. And it looks like we've got 3 more turns. So roll our dice. Wrong 6. There we go. So we'll go ahead and pull our red off to move our black over a space. And we'll do the same with our white to move our yellow. And that's going to give us 5 attack power. And let us take out one of the large bandits for another 4 victory points. We have a wood and we have 2 pass tokens. So we're going to convert those to any resource. We'll make it an ore so we can build another training camp. And again with the 6s, so we'll just put that there. Remove these. And that puts out our last set of 4 cards. Roll our dice and move on to the next turn. There we go. That was a 5. All right. So we'll remove this one. I think we can get better than 1 victory point out of that dice to put that there. And then we'll go ahead and claim a... we'll move this one to see if we can give ourselves more army power here. So that gives us 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 military power. And that's going to let us beat a large and a small bandit for 6 victory points. So, pretty good haul. Those there. That uses up those dice. These come off. We don't have any more to refill, but these shift down. So this is going to be our last turn. Not too bad. Let's go ahead and remove this one to move our red over, give us a little more. Bandits have -1. We have 6, 7, 8. And I think we'll just do the same thing, beat a large and a small bandit, and get ourselves 6 victory points. And that's going to cash in our die. These shift down, and now we move on to scoring. So for scoring first, we'll just, let's go ahead and move these out of the way. And we'll just count up our victory point markers. That's going to give us 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 37, 39, 44, and then we also get to count the victory point value of our buildings. So we'll pull all of those off. None of the printed on the board buildings have victory points. So that was 44, so +1, 45, 46, 47, 49, 50, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, and 58 victory points. So we are victorious at Dice City. The rulebook suggests if you start to find the game too easy to up the difficulty, and maybe we'll try that next time. Hope you've enjoyed our solo play of Dice City from AEG. If you did, drop a like on this video and let us know what you thought of it in the comments below. For Roll to Hit Gaming, I'm Lucas, and thanks for playing along.